Hello everyone, very welcome to Vyas Edification, Kota. Today in the series of NCERT discussion of biology, we are going to discuss a chapter from class 12, that is chapter number 4, Reproductive Health, which is an important chapter and a small chapter of course. This chapter is somewhat related with the previous chapter, that is human reproduction. This chapter actually is containing of 12 number of questions, and in this session we are going to discuss each and every question of this chapter one by one in detail, which is given in your NCERT. So without any further delay, let's move with the very first question. So question number 1 is asking, what do you think is the significance of reproductive health in a society? This question is asking about the importance of reproductive health in a society. So first of all, the answer goes like this. Reproductive health is the total well-being in all the aspects of reproduction. If we talk about the reproductive health in this question, the reproductive health is the total well-being in all the aspects of reproduction. It includes physical, emotional, behavioral, and social well-being. Now, sexually transmitted diseases such as AIDS, gonorrhea, syphilis, etc. all these STDs can be transmitted from one individual to another individual through sexual contact. Hence, it is necessary to create awareness among people, especially youth, about various aspects of reproduction, as the young people or youth are the future of our country and they are most susceptible of acquiring sexually transmitted diseases. So, creating awareness about sexually transmitted diseases, their preventive measures, and various kind of birth control methods and gender equality can help us in bringing up a reproductively healthy society. So this is the answer of significance of reproductively healthy society. Question number 2 suggests the aspects of reproductive health which needs to be given special attention in the present scenario. So we already know that what is reproductive health. Reproductive health is the total well-being of an individual in all the aspects of reproduction. Now, counseling and creating awareness among people, especially youth, about reproductive health, reproductive organs, the changes occurring in the reproduction process or during puberty in their life cycle, creating awareness about the sexually transmitted diseases, contraceptive methods. Next thing is providing support and facilities such as medical facilities for the pregnant women, medical facilities or special attentions or facilities provided to the people who are actually suffering from the sexually transmitted diseases, who want to have contraceptions, who are suffering from infertility. All these can help us for bringing a healthy or reproductively healthy society. Question number 3 is sex education necessary in schools? Why? So answer is yes, of course sex education is very much necessary in schools, as sex education can help in creating awareness about sexually transmitted diseases. It also can help us awareing the children about prevention and control of getting sexually transmitted diseases. Sex education can also help in creating awareness or vanishing the myths in the people surrounding sexual intercourse and menstruation, particularly in India or in our country. This is because of lack of sex education at the young age. So, sex education also can reduce child abuse. With the help of sex education, children can differentiate between good and bad touches. The last but not least, sex education can also help in creating awareness among the children about their body and the changes occurring in their body during puberty. So I'm writing all of those major things that sex education is actually very necessary in the schools, because it can help in creating awareness about sexually transmitted diseases and their prevention and control, Also, sex education can help in creating awareness or vanishing myths around sexual intercourse. It can help vanishing myths, right? Thereafter, it can reduce child abuse. It can reduce child abuse. Last but not least, it can help children in awareing the changes occurring in their body during the puberty. So it can aware about their body and changes during their puberty. So this is the answer of third question. Question number 4. Do you think that reproductive health in our country has improved in the past 50 years? If yes, mention some such areas of improvement. So this question is asking about improvement in the reproductive health in our country. So yes, reproductive health in our country has tremendously improved in the past 50 years. Now, if you talk about the areas of improvement in our country, they are as follows. The first one we have is, the first one area in which the improvement has been done regarding the reproductive health is massive child immunization. Massive child immunization actually decreased in the rate of infant mortality rate. Then we have decreased rate of maternal and infant mortality. This is because of due to postnatal care. The third area of improvement we have is family planning. Which has motivated the people to have smaller families. Then fourth, last but not the least, of course, use of contraceptives. Use of contraceptives decrease the rate of transmission of sexually transmitted diseases and also unwanted pregnancies. So, of course, the reproductive health in our country has tremendously improved in the past 50 years. We have some areas like this: massive child immunization, which have lead to the decrease in the infant mortality rate. Then we have maternal as well as infant mortality rate has decreased because of better postnatal cares, because of some facilities or medical assistance nowadays. Then we have family planning, which has motivated numerous peoples to have smaller families. Then we have use of contraceptives. Use of contraceptives actually leads to decrease in the rate of transmission of sexually transmitted diseases as well as unwanted pregnancies. Question number 5. What are the suggested reasons for population explosion? Now we know that human population is actually increasing day by day. Here, population explosion refers to the sudden and rapid increase in the human population in an area. So what is population explosion? Population explosion is rapid or sudden increase in an area in the individuals, particularly among human beings. Now what could be the reasons which are responsible for the population explosion? So in the present scenario or nowadays, we have medical facilities. We are aware of so many things. So because of the awareness and medical facilities, the life expectancy of people or individual has been increased. And because of the medical facilities, the death rates are being decreased. So this could be the reason of population explosion. That is, first one we have the reason for population explosion is death rate decreased and life expectancy has been increased. This is the first reason of population explosion. The next one we have is we are facing the infant mortality rate has been decreased. Now we have medical facilities, we are aware of many things. We are aware of sexually transmitted diseases, contraceptive methods. All of these actually lead to the decrease in the rate of infant mortality rate. Also, they have increased the infant birth rate. So second one is we are facing increased birth rate right now, which leads to the population explosion. Also, infant mortality rate is decreased because of the awareness, because of the postnatal care and facilities we have. So this could be the reason that death rate has been decreased, life expectancy of people has been increased because of medical facilities and awareness. Also, the increased birth rate could be the reason of population explosion, and infant mortality rate is also decreased at present because of the better postnatal care. So these are the reasons for the population explosion. Question number 6 is the use of contraceptives justified? Give reason. So obviously contraceptive uses are justified, as we know that human population is increasing tremendously. Therefore, to regulate population growth by regulating reproduction has become a demand in the present time. Contraceptive devices are devised to eliminate the unwanted pregnancies. Also, contraceptive devices can help us in family planning processes by spacing children or spacing pregnancies. And last but not least, contraceptive methods can also guard people against sexually transmitted diseases to some extent. So, to write this answer, yes, of course, that the use of contraceptive is justified, is absolutely justified, as we know that the population, the human population is increasing tremendously, Now, contraceptive methods actually can reduce. Contraceptives can help us in reduce unwanted pregnancies, of course. Also, contraceptive methods can help us in family planning, by spacing between children or pregnancies. Last but not least, contraceptive methods can guard against sexually transmitted diseases to some extent. So this is the answer of question number 6. Question number 7. Removal of gonads cannot be considered as a contraceptive option. Why? So first of all, we all know that contraceptive methods are designed or devised for actually decreasing the unwanted pregnancies. We have various kinds of contraceptive methods such as natural method, we have barrier methods, we have oral contraceptive methods, and also we have surgical methods of contraception. So, removal of gonads is not actually a good idea, as removal of gonad is actually making a person infertile forever. If we remove the gonads, what are gonads? Gonads are testes in the males and ovaries in the females. As we know that gametes are being produced in the gonads such as testes and ovaries, and also these testes and ovaries or gonads actually make hormones, sex hormones, which are actually needed or required by the body. So if we remove the gonads in a person, the person will stop releasing sex hormone which is required for the normal functioning of the reproductive system as well as important for the secondary sexual characters. So opting the removal of gonads is actually a bad idea. We can opt for various kinds of contraceptive methods we have. So removal of gonads is not considered as a contraceptive option because if we remove the gonads in a person, it can make a person infertile. It can make a person infertile forever. As if we remove the testes or ovaries, the complete production of gamete will stop and no one can reverse it. So, removal of gonads is not a good idea because it can make a person infertile forever. Also, if we do remove the gonads, it will stop the production. It will stop the production of sex hormones such as testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all these hormones are sex hormones. So removal of gonads will stop the production of sex hormones in individuals, which can lead to the abnormal functioning of the reproductive system. So this will lead to the abnormal functioning of the reproductive system, and they will not have any kind of secondary sexual characters as well. Question number 8. Amniocentesis for sex determination is banned in our country. Is this ban necessary? Comment. First of all, what is amniocentesis? Amniocentesis is a prenatal diagnostic technique which is used to determine the sex or metabolic disorders of the fetus which is developing in the uterus of a mother by observing the chromosomal patterns of the fetus which are actually dispersed into the amniotic fluid. So this is clear that what is amniocentesis. Now, amniocentesis is being designed to determine the genetic disorders of the fetus, but unfortunately it is being misused by some people to determine the sex of a child before birth. When people came to know the developing fetus in the womb is female, they decide to abort the child. So to prevent female feticide, it is necessary to ban the amniocentesis for the purpose of sex determination. So this is the answer for this question number 8. As we know that what is amniocentesis, and it should be banned in our country for the purpose of sex determination before the birth. To prevent female feticide. Now, question number 9. Suggest some methods to assist infertile couples to have children. First of all, what do you understand by infertility? Infertility is the inability of couples to produce children, to produce baby even after unprotected intercourse. This is infertility. Now, we have some techniques in medical sciences to assist such couples to have children. Some techniques we have, and among these techniques, first we are going to discuss here, that is test tube babies. Test tube babies. Now, what happens in this technique? First of all, it is in vitro technique, or in vitro fertilization happens in this technique. In vitro fertilization happens in this technique. What do you understand by this? When a fertilization takes place in laboratory and outside the body of a female, as in case of humans, we know that fertilization takes place inside the body of a female, and when we are going to meet, when we make sperms and ovums to meet in the laboratory, then these are the techniques which are helpful or assist some couples, infertile couples, to have children. Now, test tube babies, first of all, test tube babies are kind of in vitro fertilization. Now, in this technique, sperm is going to meet with the female gamete or ovum in laboratory. As a result, we know that the formation of zygote will take place. This zygote will transfer into the uterus or fallopian tube of a normal female. The babies produced through this technique are known as test tube babies. So this is one kind of technique to assist infertile couples to have babies. Next one we have is GIFT, gift. That means gamete intra fallopian transfer. Now, in this technique, the gamete such as ovum is going to be transferred into the fallopian tube. Into the fallopian tube only, not into the uterus. the gamete from a donor female is transferred into the fallopian tube of a recipient woman or female who cannot produce gamete but capable of conceiving or can provide better or suitable environment for pregnancy. So this kind of technique in which ovum from a donor female is being transferred into the female or recipient female who cannot produce gamete but can provide suitable environment for pregnancy and can conceive. This kind of technique we have is known as GIFT, gift or gamete intrafallopian transfer. Third we have is ICSI. That means intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Now, in this technique, sperms are directly injected into the ovum in laboratory. So, what happens in this technique? Sperm injections injected into the ovum directly, and of course this process is going to happen in the laboratory. Fourth we have is artificial insemination. Now, this kind of technique is actually used in those couples or in those marriageable couples in which the male partner is unable to inseminate the female, first of all. Then, now what is this technique actually? In this technique, female is given or female is provided with the sperm injection or semen injection directly into the fallopian tube containing sperms. So this is artificial insemination in which the female is given semen injections containing sperms, and this actually happens or occurs in those couples in which the male partner is not capable to inseminate the female. So these are the techniques which are helpful or which can assist the couples who are infertile to have children. What are the measures one has to take to prevent from contracting STDs? So, first of all, creating awareness among people, especially youth, as they are most susceptible to contract STDs or STIs. Then one should avoid to have sex with unknown person and multiple partners, as you never know the person in front of you is having HIV virus in his or her body or not. Then third we should use condom, which is a contraceptive method in the barrier method and can prevent us from contracting STIs or STDs. So what is the answer? That creating awareness. Next is avoid sex with unknown person as well as multiple partners. Then C is should use condoms as contraceptive which can prevent us from contracting STDs or STIs. Next, question number 11, straight true or false with explanation. So first statement A is abortions could happen spontaneously. True. This statement is true or false? This statement is actually true. Abortion could happen spontaneously on their own. The reason behind this, having poor health, having poor reproductive health, having stress in their life, this could be the reason which can lead to spontaneous abortions on their own. So this statement is actually correct or true. Then we have infertility is defined as the inability to produce a viable offspring and is always due to abnormalities or defects in the female partner. No, the statement is correct up to this, that infertility is actually inability of a couple to produce baby or offspring due to abnormalities in their body. But this abnormalities or defects can be present in both the partners, such as female and male. So the statement is false, as male partner can also have abnormalities. Then third statement, complete lactation could help as a natural method of contraception. This statement is also false, as we know that the lactation period, if we do sexual intercourse in lactational period, then this contraceptive method is known as lactational amenorrhea. But that lactational amenorrhea, being contraceptive method, is actually working up to the 6 months of period. That means not a complete lactation could help as a natural method of contraception, but up to 6 months, up to 6 months of lactation can act as a natural method of contraception. So this statement is actually false. The last statement we have is creating awareness about sex related aspects is an effective method to improve reproductive health of the people. Yes, this statement is absolutely correct, that creating awareness about sex related aspects among the people is helpful, is very helpful in creating a reproductively healthy society or creating reproductively healthy people. So this statement is actually correct. Now we have a last question of this chapter, that is question number 12. First, correct the following statement. First statement we have is surgical methods of contraception prevent gamete formation. This statement, the statements given are actually wrong statement. We have to make it right. So first statement is surgical methods of contraception. We know that surgical methods are vasectomy and tubectomy. Those two are contraceptive methods under surgical methods of contraception. So surgical methods of contraception prevents gamete formation. No, it does not prevent gamete formation. It actually prevents gamete transfer. Gamete transfer is inhibited by the method of surgical. Then second statement we have all sexually transmitted diseases are completely curable. No, all sexually transmitted diseases are not curable, such as AIDS. AIDS is not at all curable. So all sexually diseases are not, sexually transmitted diseases are not curable, not completely curable. We can prevent, but they are not completely curable. Third we have is oral pills are very popular contraceptive method among the rural women. Yes, it is correct that oral pills are very popular contraceptive amongst the rural women. Fourth statement we have is in ET technique. What is ET technique? Embryo transfer technique. Embryo transfer technique. Embryos are always transferred into the uterus. No, this statement is incorrect. We have to make it correct that in embryo transfer technique, if the embryo is 8 celled, then it is going to be transferred into the fallopian tube of a female. Fallopian tube of a female. If the embryo is more than 8 celled, then it is going to be transferred into the uterus of a female. So we have done with the chapter reproductive health. Thank you.